Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in all types of medical businesses. This isn't a podcast telling you what you should do, just telling you what I did. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. So let's get into it, Amanda. What are we talking about today? Is some sort of trend bullshit?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, I like in your opening how you say this is not telling you what to do because I don't really like being told what to do.
I keep telling people what to do though on this podcast. So like there's
Even
a
though you
misnomer.
say
Somebody's gonna
that.
call me out about it at some point. I'm still sticking with the old school intro, pretending like everybody just earmuffs. Earmuffs when I tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like 90% of
But
the
if they just
podcast.
told you if they just listened to what you tell them to do, then they'd be successful.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty fucking funny how that works.
Yeah.
We laugh Brent and I laugh all the time when it's like, oh, I did what you said and it worked. Yeah. I mean, what'd you expect? We're just not making shit up. We've done it before. That's why. Let's do it.
Well, today we're going to talk about how to trend proof your business.
Let's trend it. There is a trend. So I want to talk about a trend before we get into it. There's this trend out there of men talking about their like significant other and their spouses. And I think it's super important because if you see all of I'm talking about the old guys, the old entrepreneurs online, when they interview them, they always ask like, hey, what's the most important thing that you chose in life? Or what's the most important thing an entrepreneur chooses? And every single one of them says your spouse. Your spouse is going to be the number one thing that you're going to choose your entire life. And if you have a spouse that doesn't like money and doesn't want to spend money, then you're going to be a man who's going to be pretty fucking useless your entire life. I'm going to say that right now. And this is why. Because the men who choose a woman who are okay with their life and they never spend a lot, they don't love nice things or want nice things for themselves, guess what? You're going to stay exactly where you are as a man because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to deliver on your promises or what they want. But the guys who really level up, are constantly pouring money into their wives or their spouses. And their wives or spouses are spending it. Why? Because they fucking can. Like, Steph is allowed to go buy whatever she wants. And she's like, I want to make my own money. Okay, fucking why? Like, you literally have an endless supply of whatever you want. You don't have a number on it. If she's outspending me, then as a man, I'm not doing enough to provide. And sometimes the arguments in the house, not in our house, but they used to be about money. And I notice friends or colleagues, they're always about, oh, my wife spends too much, or we can't outlive, or I can't out earn my wife. Well, fucking, you better get better at what you do. And guess what? When you have a wife that has accustomed to nice cars and nice purses and nice clothes, she ain't gonna go back to fucking Walmart, bro. She's not. So you better get better. You better improve yourself. You better improve your income, because a man who is willing to give his queen absolutely everything, they're going to do everything they possibly can to get there. They're going to leave no stone unturned. They're going to push through the hard times. They're going to push through the low times. They're going to be studying and working at fucking 2 a.m. in the morning so that they can give her everything they want. And that's what I want for my wife. Real men fucking do that. Real men want a woman who spends like crazy because they will elevate themselves to give that woman everything. And that's a trend I want to throw out there, where men are all talking about we should budget and blah 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 blah, and women, in the end, men, if you can't afford your woman, get a fucking cheaper woman. Go find someone else, because you don't deserve that one you're with. Pretty simple.
I dig it.
There you go.
I'm going to amen to that.
Amen it.
Amen.
So let's get into it. What kind of trends are we talking about today?
Well, there's an article in Vogue Business this past summer about what would the summer be like without trends, which is something I've never thought about. But everything in our life is built on trends. What are the color trends for designing your house? What are the fashion trends? What's the color of the season? What are the nail trends? What are the hair trends? I mean, it is wild how marketing really has just been dependent on the next trend to keep people buying and keep people thinking, well, what I have isn't enough. What I have isn't good enough. I need the next thing and this is no longer cool. I want that instead. And so for the first time in a long time, what they discussed is that there was not really this big cultural wave this last summer with all these trendy things like it has been in the past. Instead, what they have discovered is customers have pulled back from that type of hype and they're looking for more authenticity, something that's more personal, something that's more lasting. So, we're going to talk about and dig into some of these main lessons. And it's got me thinking business is the same way. If you want to build a business, which we talk about this on other podcasts, we're going to go deeper today. If you want to build something that lasts, you cannot jump on the latest trend or hype. And you really have to focus on trend proofing your business so that what you have, you can scale and lasts you a lifetime or until you decide to exit that business someday, which then means somebody else has to see it as a scalable model. So how do you do that and what does that look like? So we're going to dig into that today.
Let's do it. That's a really good topic.
So as the first and coming from beauty and fashion and all of that, I love this topic because I've never been super trendy. I like classic things. If I buy a luxury item, it's going to be something that it's not going to be out of style in the next I mean, it can't go out of style in the next 5 years because if I buy something, I take really good care of it. So it's going to last me a while. So it needs to be something that's going to last me 5 plus years or I'm probably not going to buy it. But anyway,
It's like that
that's
song, "I'm a classic man." I don't know if that's how it goes. That's the only part of the entire song I know, and Mesa doesn't know it because he's not a classic man. But move
the
on.
dance that you just did though reminds me of
A classic man?
the Mickey Mouse
Oh.
Clubhouse. Come inside,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
fun
yeah.
inside.
Yeah, yeah,
It
we
was
don't
really
watch that
good.
because that's like crack for children.
Yeah.
Yeah, they watched it once and they just like are insane. Yeah, you let your kid watch Mickey
Uh-huh.
Mouse Clubhouse?
She does.
Whoo, she's a crackhead.
She
Starting
sings
them young.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. It's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
knows her ABCs now. She said her ABCs all the way through
There you
yesterday.
go. How old
And
is she?
a little over a year and a half.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and she
incredible.
was just like playing and
Yeah.
we were like,
Damn, Mickey
okay,
Mouse.
yeah, and she went
Mickey's
through
doing his
all
thing.
of her ABCs and then saying, "Now I know my ABCs,"
Yeah,
like the end of it.
that's awesome.
We clapped and she was just like, "Oh, okay," and jumped
Yeah,
up. She was
I
all
did
excited.
something.
Anyway, back to
Okay, back to reality.
buying things
Yep.
that are lasting and my desire to buy nice things, but they need to be classic. And that goes back to the first lesson in this is don't try to be viral. You see all of this marketing now, all these people go on and say, I'm going to teach you how to make viral clips online. You're going to go viral if you follow this code or message or whatever. And people are trying to do that in their businesses. It's not about being cool and flashy, it's about having something that you can scale. So, while yes, it'd be great if we all had a chance to go viral, that's not really what you build a business on.
Right. Going viral is just part of it. And you're absolutely right. But people are building their businesses off trying to go viral. I can make you go viral. Well, guess what? If you go viral and you've got a shitty product or you're a one hit wonder, you're going to go viral over and over for that one thing and then it dies. Look at all the viral TikTok people. There's the classic one with the Vato on the skateboard, skateboarding to that chill song. I can't remember what it was. People will know. People will know. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So skateboarding to the chill song. I mean, that was like the that viral post, and then there's always the same viral music or the same viral sound that maybe another influencer will use over and over and over, or the same one hit wonder song, songs of the summer. That's usually a lot of times one hit wonders. One song and that's it. They go super viral and then they die. There's all those cases, and what you're doing is, yeah, you might earn some money or good money at that one point in time. But unless you had a history of doing phenomenal work and it continues, or you just keep pumping out these one hit wonders or these viral posts, which again, they're usually not, it's very random. The algorithm's random. Things are all over the place. You're not building a system, a process, a business that's going to stay around forever. And you can look at I don't know, the Hawk Tuah girl, right? She went viral for her clip and was doing all these bar visits and made a ton of money on her coin, and then she burned herself to the ground with hate, with the coin disaster and all that stuff. People who build things on virality, they're going to chase that hype over and over and over, and you don't have the hype in business over and over. That's the reality. You don't have the hype in your job. Brent and I always have to talk to our staff and let them know that, hey, in the real world, you're not going to wake up every single day cheering and shouting and being like, I love my life. I love my job. I love waking up today. You're not. A lot of times you're going to wake up and think, damn, fuck, I woke up. Got this same crap I got to deal with. I got to like push and I got to, you know, again, you're not going to feel great every single day, but social media and virality, they're always pushing the fact that you got to be hyped up. You got to love every day. You got people like David Goggins that are just like, I'm alive every day. And if you're not alive, you're a bitch. Like, that shit's not real in real life. That's not real in business. That's not real in entrepreneurship. That's not real in entrepreneurship. There's gonna be days where you wake up and you don't want to do shit and you try and you might not be able to do all the shit you got to do. So, if you chase trends, if you chase that virality, you're just going to come up with something that is pretty hollow. You're not actually solving a deep problem if you're just chasing likes and um, followers and all that. We see those people who buy followers. We've seen those people who bought likes, and they have a whole bunch of quantity of followers, but no quality. And then we see micro influencers, we call them now, that are like 5 to 15,000 followers, but they're selling millions of dollars of a product or what they're doing because they have a really strong following and a really good product, and they're not chasing virality. They're chasing quality and customer service and product, or whatever they're delivering. That's what they're making sure that that's the best that they could possibly do.
Has there ever been a time where you chased what was trendy or cool and it set your business back instead of moving it forward?
Yeah. So we have, and it's funny because this also happens in businesses that we coach in charismatics, where on the call last night, one of the girls was talking about a competitor across the street who her clients are starting to the clients from that company are starting to come over to this one girl's clinic, and they're starting to tell her like that clinic just feels really salesy, and like she's just trying to do all the trends and stuff like that. And people started that process with GLP-1s, where everybody was jumping on the trends when Genesis had been doing it for years, and then now it's NAD and methylene blue that everybody's jumping on, and then it's uh now research peptides, and everybody and their uncle, even if they have no medical history or background, are hawking these illegal peptides online and e-commerce sites to people. So there's always going to be the people who try and money grab and jump onto this field. And in the past, we added services that we thought the client said, "Hey, why don't you do this or do that?" And we thought, "Yeah, we got to do this and that and this and that." And what it did is it really diluted our brand and who we are. instead of saying, no, we're really good at these four things, these four pillars. And if it's outside those pillars, we don't do it. We're not going to add it. And so when we added all those things and got into the trendiness of what's new and what's cool and what everybody else is doing, well, guess what? We did nothing but dilute our brand and reduce the power of our messaging.
And
So,
lost money.
and we lost money.
Yeah.
Yeah, ended up losing money at the
Yeah.
same time. So all of that combined is what happens when you just chase the trends. And so fixing that and making sure we're focused on, hey, we're not going to chase trends. We're going to create them if we can. We're going to, with doing what we do well over time, virality will come because if you have now we have 100,000 people a month hitting the website. If you have that month over month, I mean, over a year, that's virality, a million plus people hitting the website. And it's not flat, it's consistently growing as we put money into SEO and growth of the company, etc. So, you should really focus on trying to be viral over time. What is the amalgamation, the combination of all your efforts combined as you're growing? What does that look like in terms of numbers of eyes that you see or see you?
How would somebody decide what opportunities are worth attention and then which ones are just noise?
Gosh, that is such a hard question because you have no idea. I mean, the internet was something that was all out there in virality. Bitcoin is out there in virality. There's You're never gonna be able to tell to a degree what trends are gonna take off and what trends are not
Mm,
gonna take off.
mhm,
I have no idea.
mm.
Like, I have no idea. I don't think anybody can tell you which ones. I mean, the trends that I look at really are the ones that are just involved in my service pathway and what I do. So I believe that if there's something viral in my field, then it's something I have to look into, something if it's worth doing. Can we provide this service? Does it make sense in our pillars, et cetera? That's what you should be looking at. Does it make sense in your field? Does it make sense in your vertical? Does it make sense for what you are trying to do? Otherwise, I try and ignore the other viral things because when I start to take my eye off
Off
the
the
ball
ball.
or take my focus off of my businesses or, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're taking your eye off what you're doing every single day to succeed and to grow, then it doesn't improve you in any way.
To add to that point, it's educating yourself. It's not staying ignorant to what's happening in your specific market. It's educating yourself as to what is going on in the market. Does that, like, do a gut check? Does that feel like something that could be beneficial for the foundation of your business? Or paying attention to, like, this feels like it's risky. And if there's a lot of risk involved with testing it out, and then also paying attention over a period of time. You don't necessarily need to be first to market with something to still stay on top of a trend if you are going to take action on implementing that into your business. But you do need to watch, is this reliable over a period of time? Because for the people that have businesses that are built on trends, eventually you lose the trust that your customers have in you. Because if you're doing this new trendy thing and then the next time they come in, you're now no longer doing that because something else is cooler or fun or supposedly better, a few times of customers hearing that and they're going to think you're not focused or that you don't have an expertise in the area because it's going to feel unstable and they're not gonna be sure if they can get the results that you're promising. If you're constantly changing, "Well, this is the new cool thing. No, this is the new cool thing. No, this is better than the last thing, and here's why." You can only say that so many times before your customers are gonna really question your integrity, your authenticity, and the efficacy of what you're offering. I think about that in the skincare world, we have Stature launching in a few months, and we've spent a year and a half perfecting the formulas and working with the lab on making sure it's exactly what we want it to be before going to market. And I had a woman message me today about a new, like, tech driven focus on skincare, and that is bioidentical ingredients for the skincare and makeup or self-care, body care industry. And it sounds cool, and I'm interested to see what happens over time with that. So, what's the benefits of going bioidentical versus using the raw natural ingredient? Which one is better? Is this trendy? Is this hype? Or is this going to be something that sticks and the whole market moves that direction? We'll see. But it was something that made me think about this conversation that we were going to have. Yeah, I could jump on the trend and then we could find out that it's a terrible idea and people don't like it. And, then what do you do? So wait until you've got some proven track behind what you're going to do before you make those leaps. That would be my advice. Okay. So the next thing I just listened to a podcast about when we're talking about trend proofing your business is doubling down on authenticity. And it was an interview, and the 2 guys were talking about, and Alex Hermosi was on the podcast. He was sharing about how important it is for you just to be you. And that's what people are looking for. There is nobody that can be Alex Hermosi like Alex Hermosi, but there's nobody that can be Alex like Alex or Amanda like Amanda, because our own stories, our own path, our own experiences create this version of who we are in the world that not one other person can do. And so while there might be things that people do that are similar in the skincare space, my stories, my experience, my problem, why I created Stature, the solution I'm bringing to the table, my passion in it, nobody else is going to have that recipe. So, the second point we're going to dive into is doubling down on authenticity.
There's such a thin line when it comes to authenticity. People think authenticity is like, I gotta just be myself all the time. And if people don't like it, don't like it. And that doesn't really work if you're trying to run a business, if you're trying to grow a business. But if you're educating a client on something or you're trying to push stuff out into the real world, people don't like copycats. They like reality. They like businesses that are transparent. That's why there's all these businesses that are growing really, really rapidly with transparent ingredients, and we don't put fillers in our stuff and showing the labels and all that stuff like that, because people want businesses that are real. People want things that are healthy for them, that are good for them. And people only make decisions because they think that the decision that they're going to make is going to make them happier. That's the only reason why they make a decision. Because this thing that I am going after, buying or looking at or making a decision about is going to make me happier. That is the only reason why they make decisions.
Mm.
And so the more you lean into that unique voice, the more you separate yourself from your competitors, the more you create a moat around who you are in your business. And the more authentic your business becomes, and that will resonate with people. And it will not resonate with 50% of people. So just realize that no matter what you do, there's going to be people that don't resonate with you, period.
I heard it was some like all you had to do, and I don't remember the woman that said this, but all you have to do is out of the 100% of people listening, like turn off the 80%, or there's going to be, a percentage of people that are just kind of neutral about what you're saying, but the vast majority of people might not agree with what you're saying. As long as the 20% go, "Oh my gosh, I totally understand. I feel the same way. This is exactly what I'm experiencing," then you're winning. All you need is 20%. So if you're getting a bunch of, I guess, naysayers online, haters, whatever you want to call it, that's okay. It's normal. It's a part of the process. And it could mean that you're showing up with authenticity. Now, that being said, sharing every struggle you have in life or that, you can't pay the bills with your team, those are things that there's a line with the type of authenticity. Uh, if I'm sharing that I got into skincare because growing up, I had lost my father, and so I struggled with self-worth, so I thought I needed to be beautiful. That was the whole reason I got into the beauty industry. I thought to get love, to receive love and acceptance, I needed to be beautiful. So I would put this mask on, and no matter how I felt on the inside, sadness, loneliness, whatever, it made me feel better. And I didn't have the tools to deal with the internal so that that wasn't the case. It was a way to cover up. But there are a lot of women that understand that pain point because a lot of women feel they need outside things to feel worthy of acceptance, love, value, and, you know, those things. And so that's my that's a real life situation and why I got into beauty. So when I share that, it's not me sharing, every single struggle I have every day with everything going on in my life. That's being authentic. And that message is what makes people connect with you more and your business. So sharing it is important.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Corporate, I see corporate. I've been doing a lot of market research around the skincare and the launch of it and what's happening right now. And there's corporate based companies. They're faceless. There's no real soul. There's strategy, but there's no soul. And we are moving into a place where people want the soul of it. So when you just jump on the next trend, you miss out on the soul aspect
Yeah.
of what you're doing.
Yeah, they want a business that has some sort of face with it, a recognizable brand with it, that hometown feel. Obviously, Cracker Barrel just went through that.
I did.
They tried to change Old Man Cracker sitting on a chair, and people went fucking apeshit.
Which is probably really good for their business right now.
Well,
Yeah, everybody's
what's the
talking
stock?
about
What's the
Cracker
stock? Well, the
Barrel.
stock dropped 24%, so it wasn't really good
It
for their
wasn't good
business.
when they did
What it
it,
is
but
now? What's their
now what
stock?
is
What's
it?
their stock today, Mason? It's been 2 days, I think, or maybe 1 day since the announcement. What's their stock jumped
Is it going
currently?
back up?
Oh, just look at the little arrow. Yeah. Just look at the little arrow. Is it going up or down?
Oh, it's way down.
It's still way
It's
down,
way
right?
down.
Has it
Oh, yeah.
has it gone up at all
There was like
Has-
a brief little bump at 1 o'clock.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it the 5 day.
It's still going. Go to
It's-
go
it's
go,
on a
go to the one
decline,
go to the 1
yeah.
month. Go to 1 month because it's been about that long since this whole
It
debacle
looks
started.
like okay. When did they recently said that they were gonna go back to the
They
old
did.
That was
level?
2 days ago.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
recent.
it went back up after they
How
announced
much?
that.
How much?
It went basically. It looks like it went back to where it was before the announcement almost.
Yeah.
and now it's declining again.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
That's try. You
But-
you go against branding. That's just it. That's the whole
true.
purpose. You go against your authentic brand. You went against who you were. You tried to become woke and soften the edges. You became the SpongeBob without holes. Shout out to the people who watch SpongeBob and know what episode I'm talking about, where he gets rid of all his holes. You become normal. That's what he says in the episode. I'm normal. Like, people don't want that. People want authentic. People want different. People want strange. People are weird. We're all weird to a degree.
Another brand that recently experienced this is Nike. They put out a recent ad that was what's mine, what's yours, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. All about winning. Like they let go of that woke,
Yeah.
vanilla, bland, blah marketing that they've been.
Yeah, I
I
get
mean,
chills with that. That's a good phrase. I love that.
yeah, it's winning.
Yeah.
That's what when I think about was Nike when I first learned about Nike as a probably teenager or maybe in my 20s. Uh, it was about winning. Like that was the brand you wore if you were an athlete, if you were doing something, if you were strong and focused. And it just got away from that over the years. And I I would be interested to see now with this shift back to that original message, what that's going to do for the company. Because I think a lot more people are going to go back to leaning in on, yeah, I wear this because I'm elite. I'm the next level kind of athlete.
No, you're right. Despite what uh, society out there says with, well, we all got to sing kumbaya and be on the same team. And yeah, people want to win. People want to feel what it's like to win. They want to be part of that winning culture. They want to be part of a winning team. And if
Mhm.
you soften the edges, if you try and be woke, if you try and accept everybody like Jaguar, I mean, look at Jaguar. They tried to be woke and, a car for everyone. And I think they sold it was like less than 50 cars or something, less than 100 cars in all of
Mm.
Europe last year. I
Wow.
mean, tanked them in terms of number of cars they sold because they went against their brand. They went against their heritage, their history, who they were as a business from day one. And we're seeing more and more businesses pull back and get back into their authentic self. Especially, I'm a car guy, so in the car world, Dodge announced their SRT, which is like their like high performance sports division of their company. They're, turning back on. People are, Lamborghini pretty much said, or not Lamborghini, Ferrari pretty much said, like, we're going to build combustion engines and never have an electronic, engine in our company until they kill us, essentially. Do this or die. Those brands that are authentic and show a good, high quality product, Bugatti sold out until after 2029.
Wow.
So there's those brands that are showing up in that this is who we are. This is what we were for. This is like our roots, back to our roots. This is what we stand for. Hey, they're the ones that are growing and going to benefit from being authentic. Those ones who are wishy-washy and if your brand is wishy-washy or your message is wishy-washy, like people are gonna feel that and they're not gonna believe in what you're doing.
If you want to see an example, I can tell you Jaguar, their sales plummeted 97.5%. They sold 45
45,
they sold 49 units
49.
in April.
Yeah, 49 units in a month.
That's
Like
that's an almost like a
across
100% decrease.
Across
That's
yeah,
insane.
across the world. Across the world, you sold 49 cars. I mean,
Mm.
some dude in Iowa has sold 49 cars off his lot probably this month, Like
Yeah.
just random used cars. But you're a multi, billion-dollar corporation, you can't sell 49 cars globally. You just crapped on your own brand. You did.
And that's what jumping on trends can do.
That's what jumping on trends can do. Yeah.
How do you stay on brand with Genesis when it might be tempting to add some sort of trendy aspect to the company?
Does it fit our core values and does it fit our verticals? That's it. That's how you stay away from trends. What does that trend fit our core values and what we're trying to deliver? If it doesn't, simple as that. No. And if that passes that test, okay, does it fit our verticals? Will it fit in one of these packages for weight loss, hormone therapy, sexual health, or aesthetics? Or is it just way out there? Is it a different pillar that we have to build that we say, okay, put that on the rack. We're going to do that pillar at some time in the future. If it's not those two things, then don't do it. It's really that simple.
You have to be crystal clear on your core values.
Yeah, absolutely.
Companies often don't even have core values. But as a person, I have core values. I have my own personal core values. So the things that I say yes to in life, I check in like, is that aligned with my integrity, my moral compass? And if it's not, it's like, doesn't matter how much you're going to pay me or how cool I might feel or whatever. Like, it's not happening. Not happening.
Yep.
Same thing in business. All right. So the next natural thing we have to dive into is investing in the timeless. So, as we're talking about not jumping on trendy stuff, let's talk about what that does mean. So, investing in timeless value in your business. And what that means is, as we've discussed, trends fade, but value endures. That's what I was talking about when it comes to me purchasing a handbag that might cost more. It's gonna be something that I know is gonna last me a long time. So for me, that becomes an investment. It's not something that is trendy that next season I'm gonna go, "Oh, I need this color is no longer cool. Now I have this handbag I paid a ton of money for and I'm never gonna wanna wear." So having timeless value. When it comes to building products and services that are durable and actually creating consistency in your business, because that's what you want. You want to become the solid foundation, the rock that your customers and your employees can continue to count on without the hype. So let's dig into that a little bit. And when it comes to your own business and having those timeless investments, like people or infrastructure, where do you see that it pays off the most over time?
Mm. When you create a process, um, a product that is going to get people results over the long run, that's when you create a system that's really timeless. So it's difficult or different, I would say, in the service-based industry. So in the medical industry, it's different. You're a service-based industry. You're not just providing a product that is going to be a durable pair of shoes or a durable purse or dress or something that people can wear. It's not a product. It's a service that you're delivering to somebody. So your timelessness has to be different and your thoughts about timelessness have to be different. You have to think in terms of, okay, how can I make this person better 6 months, a year, 2 years from now? And that's what you have to focus on when you're trying to create something timeless is that you have to create a process of getting these clients to their optimal or their ultimate selves over the course of years. And that's what is built into that timeless part of the business. That's how you have to think of your service based business a little bit different. And it's almost like your garage door. Like a garage door is time, if you make a good solid garage door, it's timeless, but at the same time there's a lot of upkeep with a garage door and follow up with a garage door, etc. You should probably do the same. You have to do the same in your service-based business. Like you can't just give somebody a medication and say, "Okay, you're good." It's following up with them and saying, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling?" Getting them into follow-ups, saying, "Okay, now that you've gotten to this weight or you've done this, this, and this, we're going to get you into the second stage of your transformation." And so when you're thinking from a service-based industry, you have to think about your product or your service as excellent, as consistent, and as scalable. Because the product is the product. I mean, a pharmaceutical drug is a pharmaceutical drug. Botox is Botox. Cool sculpting is cool sculpting.
Mm.
Morpheus 8 is Morpheus 8. Like the product is all the same. The product never changes. It's the delivery of that product, your ability to follow up and your service, your customer service, that's what's going to make your company timeless.
When we're talking about timelessness and the value there from an employee standpoint, we can fact check this or study this, but I heard on an interview that if you hire somebody that knocks it out of the park, and let's say they're high level executive, so they're in charge of building out their team. If this person is in charge of building out their team, they are also going to attract 9 out of 10 times people that knock it out of the park because you attract what you are. You expect how high you see yourself, like the standard you hold yourself to. That's where you're going to draw people in that are holding themselves to a similar standard. So if you hire somebody that's a dud, let's call them, and they're in charge of building out their team, like 10 times out of 10, that person or that team is not going to stay with the company because same thing on both sides. So investing in the timelessness of building value within your teams. That's an aspect of this conversation. We can talk about product and service and what does that look like client facing, but what does that look like behind the scenes? Because all of those roles, they should be able to communicate how they bring the company money.
Mhm.
If they can communicate that, then great. Because some form or fashion, all of those roles, whether they're client touch or not, ultimately they're creating better systems, better training, better protocols, creating uh, uh, customer service flows that keep customers, keep customers buying, have customers that refer people. So every single role should be tied back to some level of value income wise to your company. So taking all of that and saying, how do we invest in our teams? What really does this role create for our company in the long run? What's the result? Not just the tactical things that they're doing, but what's the result of having this person in our company? And then how do we give feedback or constructive criticism so that they continue to get better, raise their standard, and everybody else around them continues to raise their standards as well? I went on a rant. That's my thought. You're like, "Yes, I know."
I get it. Yes.
Yes. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah.
But I felt it was important to talk about that aspect too, because we can talk a lot about the value and the timelessness in the business client facing. Naturally, that also is on the back end too of your business. So,
Absolutely.
timelessness there.
I agree with that.
When you help entrepreneurs. You have the mastermind charismatics and you have I mean, this is just naturally a business with a lot of women. How do you help steer them when they're wanting to go flashy over substance?
I think it's just, again, like we said before, sitting them down and saying, "Hey, let's be really real about what your business is currently. Is that a service that you want to offer? Does it make sense for you to offer it? Is it in your vertical and is it your core values?" Like, again, saying the same thing over and over and over, people make it confusing. People think that there's a whole science to that question. And no matter how people ask it, it's always the same. Does it make sense in your business for what you're doing? And is it aligned with your core values? If it isn't, don't do it. Period. That's it. End of story. Nothing else to say about that. So with the ladies that say with setting them on the direction, or a man who's running a business, it's the same thing. No matter what, does it fit your core values? Does it fit your services? No, don't do it. There's no reason to at all. I wouldn't tell a men's sexual health clinic to start doing Botox of the face. And I wouldn't tell an aesthetic clinic to go straight from, heavy female only aesthetics and add men's sexual health immediately. Are those all pillars that we would add over time to those clinics to make them a genesis? 100% yes. Do they make sense going from where they were at the very beginning to, doing that right away, next step? No, because that's not on brand, that's not authentic for them, that's not who they are, etc. That's why it takes years to transition a company that we've acquired into the Genesis model, because you want to go slow. You want to make sure, and that's who we acquire, is people that we make sure that we can move their brands over to Genesis without diluting it so much that the clientele gets turned off.
Mm. Mm, that's a really good takeaway. Well, finally, let's talk about storytelling and playing the long game,
Yeah.
which is what we've touched on throughout this entire conversation. There's no trend that you should just ride the wave of and continue riding those waves, but people want connection and the story behind the brand. Stories outlast everything because people remember how they connect with that story. It builds brand loyalty, gives customers a reason to stick with you, regardless of if they hear this place down the road is offering the newest trend and you're not, because they connect with you. And they're going to spend the money somewhere. So you get this client that is coming in for Botox. Well, they can get Botox, like we said, in a bunch of other places. But why do they get it from you? Well, because they like you,
Yep.
because they connect with you. So playing that long game, sharing stories, being authentic, but playing the long game with storytelling is really great because people connect with stories. So you've said before that people don't buy services, they buy the story of who you are, what you stand for. And how have you seen that play out as Genesis has evolved and grown?
When it comes to not only what we offer, but also bringing people on board with us at the same time and selling that story. I mean, where we're going, there haven't been many companies like us at all. I mean, currently there aren't any companies like us who cover that many pillars across the amount of locations we have, etc. And it's going to continue to grow that way. And we're going to get even better people on board in the next 6 months that are going to help us get to the next level that know more than Brent and I in terms of scaling and improvement and things like that. And when it comes to your story, Genesis has been around for 15 years to a degree, 6 years with me at the helm with Brent. And we've grown leaps and bounds since then. And we continue to grow. And your story is only as good as the what you're writing every single day. If I told an awesome story, but I still had 4 locations, the same as I did 5 years ago, or we were getting smaller, or we had less staff, people stop believing in the story, clients and patients, and staff. I see some entrepreneurs all the time posting on Instagram about how they're gonna take over the world and their new system is gonna be the next best thing, and they've been telling that same story and posting that same stuff for the last 5 years, and their businesses are smaller than they were 5 years ago, and they have less money than they had 5 years ago, but at the same time, they're still talking the same talk and, still trying to burn everybody else around them down, and it's like, people stop believing you. People know you're full of shit. So, when you're trying to do that, when you're really trying to build that culture and that clientele, that story, I mean, you have to deliver a good service, and stories sell. And once you get there, like you said, be authentic, tell your story. So I talk about living in the attic of my fraternity, or living in a crack house with Steph, or selling our house in order to start the business, or the all the unsure feelings that I have on a daily basis, and the anxiety of building a company and trying to grow it. That's why I share all that as much, because I'm no different than anybody else. Everybody's has those feelings. I think in Instagram and social media world, people are starting to, or people are tired of the people who are saying, I'm bulletproof. I don't have any of these feelings. If you don't, you suck. That's not a reality. And so people are tired of that. People are tired of the bullshit and they want authenticity. And that's just that's continuing to grow. And that is building something that's going to be there forever.
So good. This has been a great conversation. I know that people had to get a lot out of it. And well, we are headed out of a summer without trends.
Right.
And sounds like it's
I'm going to
been
try and
a
create a trend.
Yeah, what trend are you gonna create?
I don't know, some sort of dancing trend.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like a think of like a floss, but oh yeah, Mickey's Clubhouse. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse dance. This is going viral right
You could
here.
go circles.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah, do that shit on
It's fun
TikTok.
inside. Okay, I'm done.
You're good. I think you watch the show for yourself. Yeah.
She's so
She's
excited
in the other
about it.
room and you're just dancing and singing to Mickey Mouse
Well,
Clubhouse.
it's a mental break for me.
There you go.
Uh, so if you want to build a company, build it on the hype of who you are, living authentic, being authentic, sharing your passion, purpose, and product without the hype of the trend, trying to go viral. Just forget all that. Build something with a solid foundation that people can trust, that you can focus and deliver quality results, quality product, quality service, whatever aspect of business you're in. Do it with the mentality of building something that you can scale and not necessarily something that's just flashy. Now, if you can scale it and you add a little flash or spice, go for it, but make it an authentic part of who you are.
100%. I can't say it any better than that. Just end on that.